Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here this evening. My name is Debbie Packard, and I'm in Topeka, Kansas, and we are in for such a wonderful treat tonight, hearing from someone that has some amazing information to share. Um, I am sitting in tonight for Julie White, who is already traveling to Dallas for the Momentum Academy. She is kind of beginning that trek on that trip, but I am going to ask Carol Roberts to introduce our guest speaker tonight. I know Candi because we were at it was called Growth Summit at the time at Momentum. It's called Growth Summit now. It was called Pro 5 Summit back then. And I was so happy to meet her and know that she already knew a member of my team. And so I'm going to let Carol share in this fun tonight and introduce Candi for us.
Well, I know that if you know Candy, you are super blessed. She is just amazing. She does have four children. She's three boys, Dylan and Jaden, Camden, Paul, and then a daughter, Abby. And she was also blessed, which this is super exciting, with the plus one with her beautiful daughter-in-law, Jaden, who is due in November with the first grandbaby and very exciting to await their arrival. She has been with her best friend and the father of her children for 28 years. Previous to LifeVantage, she worked as a registered nurse for 20 years, and she is now the CEO of her own business as a professional network marketer. She is passionate about helping people heal on all aspects of their life, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and financially. She believes every person is a gift and is here for a reason. Andy partnered with LifeVantage 6 years ago as an executive consultant and diamond seller. She is so grateful to be a part of something bigger than herself, as are we. This business is her passion and it just aligns with her soul's purpose. It is really the heartbeat of who she is. And I will tell you that Candy is just a precious, precious friend. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Candy, and let you share. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, you are welcome. Thank you, you guys. I am so honored to be on this call. So thank you for having me. And I am really excited to share the story with you and do an opportunity call because I think that it's so nice to hear those different perspectives of how people can share this information, right? So I want to take you guys back 6 years ago because that's really when my journey started. And where I was at, I am not the same person today that I was 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I had been working as a registered nurse for years and years and years and years, and I loved it. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. Very passionate about taking care of people. I loved what I did. I thought that that's what my purpose was. But I started feeling like I was missing something and I couldn't pinpoint it. And I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, if you guys have, in any of the jobs that you work, but I couldn't pinpoint what I was missing, but I was also exhausted. Every job I ever had, most of my career, I spent in the operating room, the ICU, the emergency room. I did a lot of traveling. And so I was literally working 70, 80, sometimes 90 hours a week. I would tell you that my kids were the most important people in my life, my kids and my husband, but I was the biggest hypocrite that you'd ever meet. Because when you're working that many hours, are they really the most important people in your life? I was dying inside. I was exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and I knew that I needed to change something, but I didn't know how. You guys, there's so many people out there that are struggling. There's so many people that are on their hands and knees, wishing, hoping, praying that something would come into their life. And that's where I was at. When you're in that hamster wheel of survival, you can't even see past it. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know how to change. Like you need somebody to grab your hand and help you get out of that situation. And what really was the biggest turning point for me was I've been healthy my entire life. I've never had to deal with chronic pain. I've never had to deal with chronic disease. I was in a car accident in 2017 coming home from a traveling nursing job. After that car accident, I had six major surgeries in 6 months, including a major back surgery. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed with endometriosis. Pretty soon, I found myself not even wanting to get out of bed in the morning. I had depression. I had anxiety. I was taking 17 pharmaceutical medications a day. They were doing experimental procedures on me because they couldn't get my inflammation under control. That was the biggest gift. That was the biggest blessing that ever happened to me because it was the first time that I realized that those light bulb moments started going off for me, and I knew exactly what I was missing as a registered nurse. I knew that I never wanted to make somebody feel this big. I never wanted to make somebody feel like they weren't seen and they weren't heard and they weren't valued. I didn't want to be a part of a system that just kept putting medication in people's mouths but weren't listening to them to find out what the root cause of why they were suffering was. So I started praying, and I started praying for an opportunity to be able to help people in a different way. And that's when this company was shared with me. It's divine intervention, it's divine timing. When I heard this information 6 years ago, it was the first time in several years that I felt like, oh my gosh, there's hope. Like I felt a little bit of a glimpse of hope. But the interesting part about that was when I saw the ABC News Primetime Investigative Report, which I'm going to share a little bit more with that with all of you tonight. And I saw that, I was on the edge of my seat. And the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, if this is real, this is going to help everybody. Like this is going to change the world. Like everybody deserves to know this information if this is true. I had never seen anything like it before, ever in my entire life. But I didn't think it was going to help me. Is that funny? Is that so funny? Like I did not say yes 6 years ago because I thought that this was going to help me. I knew I had already written off my health. I knew that these products weren't going to help me. I said yes for an opportunity to help more people in a bigger way. Gosh, was I blessed in way more ways than that. Because not only did I get my life back, I got my health back. I've been pharmaceutical free for the last was taking 17 medications, been pharmaceutical free for the last 5 years. I walked away from my job as a registered nurse. I haven't had a job in 5 years. I will never work for somebody else again. I will never let my life be dictated. I didn't get a chance to be a stay-at-home mom, but guess what? I get to be a stay-at-home grandma. Like, how awesome is that? To be able to be a stay-at-home grandma. But you guys, this is way more than that for me. This is my why has evolved so big. And I want you guys to really think about this because the reason why I am so passionate about sharing this is because I want people to know that they are a gift. I want everybody to feel valued. I want to empower people. I want to lift people up. I want to believe in people until they believe in themselves. Because the second people start believing in themselves, then they can start pouring into other people. That ripple effect turns into a tidal wave of the amount of people that we can help. And that's why I'm going to share the whole story of LifeVantage with you because it's so important. I don't know what you're suffering with. I don't know if there's guests on this call, but I don't know what you're suffering with. I don't know what you're praying for behind closed doors. I can make an assumption that maybe it's your health, but I will tell you that I've been wrong 99% of the time when I try to assume what's going on in somebody else's life. This company was actually, I love the story of LifeVantage. This company was kind of started by accident, is what I tell people, because the company was not designed to be where it's at today. Our company was started because there was a world-renowned scientist named Dr. Jill McCord who was studying what's called free radicals. So a lot of people don't know what free radicals are. I mean, some people are like, what is that? Democrats and Republicans? I have no idea what that is. You guys, even me as a nurse, when I went to nursing school, and maybe some nurses, maybe there's nurses on this call that can relate, but we're not taught a lot of proactive preventative medicine. We're taught a lot of reactive pharmaceutical medicine. That's what we're taught. And so coming into this, I was very programmed in this box, and it was hard for me to see outside of it. So when I started learning about all of this, it really opened up my eyes to, free radicals are one, a byproduct of our own metabolism, but two, all environmental toxins. Like, did you guys know that? Free radicals are in the air that you breathe, the food that you eat, the water you drink, the Wi-Fi, the 5G, the pesticides, the microplastics, all of these things in our environment that are toxins, when they come into our body, those free radicals, they turn into what's called oxidative stress. A lot of people have never heard of oxidative stress, but it's like inflammation. You've heard of inflammation. Oxidative stress and inflammation are not a disease in itself, but they're at the center of a lot of diseases, right? Just like aging is not a disease in itself, but the major theory to why our bodies are aging is oxidative stress. Oxidative stress from environmental toxins is linked to heart disease, it's linked to cancer, diabetes, autoimmune disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, anxiety, depression, neuromuscular disease, PTSD, pretty much anything that you can think of is linked to oxidative stress. And so my mind, as I'm watching this, just started spinning, and I thought, you're telling me that we know that oxidative stress is wreaking havoc on our bodies from environmental toxins. Why aren't we doing anything about it? This research has been done for years. His research started way back in the 60s. This was coming to fruition in the 90s. He was nominated 4 times for the Nobel Peace Prize in Medicine. He was the last recipient of the Elliott Cresson Award in 1997. Like, he made a significant impact. So why isn't this research talked about more? Those are the questions that I was asking. So what he found, what Dr. Joe McCord found through his research is that if you want to combat those free radicals from turning into oxidative stress and damaging our bodies at a cellular level, it's antioxidants. We all know that antioxidants are good for us. Eat more blueberries, vitamin C. I don't know if you all remember this, but think back to the late 90s. Think back to the late 90s, early 2000s. You'd walk into a supermarket and everything said plus antioxidants, including the really ridiculous sugary cereal. Like, here, eat something that's really, really, really awful for you because it has a few antioxidants in it. Like, and now it's crazy, right? We have this huge problem in the world with diabetes, obesity, heart disease, cancer, all of these things, right? But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. So he found out that it was antioxidants is what's going to get rid of that oxidative stress. But what he also found out is that there's no way you can consume enough antioxidants in your diet or through supplementation to combat the amount of free radicals and environmental toxins we're exposed to on a daily basis. But he also found out that we're born with a pathway in our body called the NRF2 pathway. I had never heard about the NRF2 pathway. I was a registered nurse and I had never heard about it. The NRF2 pathway, when we're younger, it produces antioxidants, right? It keeps inflammation and oxidative stress out of our bodies. But as we age, what happens to our bodies? As we age, everything starts to slow down at a cellular level. Our bodies can't keep up with it, so we get consumed with all of these free radicals. But this doctor was brilliant. He thought, what if I could just flip back on the light switch? What if I could just activate the body to turn back on the NRF2 pathway to allow the body to work like it was designed to work, like God created us to work? That's what he did. He took 5 plants that have been used for centuries and centuries and centuries for healing, and he synergized them together in a patented formula, and that product is called Protandim NRF2. If you haven't heard about it, that's a good thing. But I promise you, I believe with every ounce of my being that Protandim NRF2 is the wave of the future of medicine, and that every living, breathing mammal deserves to know about this information and be on this product. I believe that this is going to change the world. I've seen it. I've seen what it does for people, and I believe that we need to open our mouths and share this with more people. But when he created it, what happened to this company and why I say it started on accident is when Dr. Joe McCord created it, he started telling people that what this product does is it activates the NRF2 pathway, allowing our bodies to start producing antioxidants at 1,000,000 per second. It's 1,000,000 times more powerful than any antioxidant supplement that you can take, and therefore it reduces your oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days in 100% of mammals. Is that statement like almost crazy? Do you think people thought this guy was off his rocker? That's never been done in the history of medicine. And if you go back to what I said a few minutes ago, if that statement is true, and almost every reason why people are suffering and why people are aging is related to oxidative stress, oh my gosh. And now we have something that can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. I didn't believe it when I heard it. So if you're a little bit skeptical, it's okay, because I didn't believe it. I thought, why don't I know about this? I've been a nurse for a long time, and if this information is true, then I should have heard about it. It's because nobody knows about it. You are in the right place at the right time with the right people, I promise you. So what happened to our company when Dr. Joe McCord was making those claims is that in 2005, his lab was located in Denver, Colorado. And ABC News showed up to shut him down for making false claims. So what happened? Have you ever watched ABC News Primetime Investigative Report with John Quinones? So I had never seen it up until that time, 6 years ago. But really, the intention behind that show is they come in and they show up and they investigate, right? They debunk or defraud claims that are being made. A lot of times they're right, and you never hear about the company or the product again. So that's what they were coming in to do in 2005. And what happened that day is Dr. Joe McCord asked the reporter, John, if he would be willing to be on a 30-day trial of Protandim to see if it worked for him. He agreed to it. So they walked him across the street to an independent lab at the University of Colorado. They drew his blood. It's called the T-bars test. That's a lab test that any of us can get done. It's an expensive lab test. It's not covered by insurance, and typically you have to get it at a big university hospital, but it's not covered by insurance because the pharmaceutical industry doesn't have anything to treat oxidative stress, so why would they pay for it? Right? It makes sense. So they drew his blood. They gave him Protandim and they said, take this pill once a day for 30 days and come back. We're going to retest your blood. Well, he did that, but he came back less than 2 weeks later. Like, how can you debunk somebody's claims when you're not even willing to give it 30 days? It's not like we asked for 6 months. But he came back 2 weeks later. His oxidative stress was reduced by 45% in less than 2 weeks. Like, isn't that so exciting? When they flipped the graph around on TV, it showed that his oxidative stress was down to the levels of a newborn child. And I was like, that's the moment that I was like, 100%, I am doing this. I want to be a part of this. This is going to help thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. Like, this is a big deal. You guys, we have our hands on something really, really big. Can you imagine what happened to our company that day? Just think for a minute because ABC News still aired that on TV, even though they couldn't debunk our company. So thank you, ABC News. That's probably the first and the last time I will ever thank a news station. But thank you, ABC News. So they aired that on TV. We were averaging about 3 million a year. We were a retail product. We were sold on health food store shelves. We had 5 million in orders in a 24-hour period because of the ABC News report. Like, that is incredible. It's mind-blowing, but it's also a problem. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem because supply can't keep up with the demand. When you go from 3 million a year to 5 million overnight, that's a problem. So the company kind of struggled for a few years, but it was such a blessing. When you look back, it was such a blessing because there's so much research on Protandim NRF2 right now, and the research started back then because third-party medically accredited universities caught wind of that ABC News report and they wanted to see if this was real. So Protandim NRF2 has over 30 peer-reviewed studies today in PubMed.gov. Like, that is mind-blowing to me because you do not see that with all natural products, I promise. But think about this for a minute. They're sitting on this product back in 2005 and they're kind of struggling with supply and demand. And they're like, "Hey, what are we going to do with this product? We need to get it out there." And they're thinking, if you keep this product on a shelf, can you all imagine how overwhelming it is already to go to a supplement store and figure out which vitamin D you need to take? Like, people get so overwhelmed with what is going to be good for their body and what's actually going to work, what they're going to be able to absorb, how the nutrients are absorbed, all of these things. You go to the antioxidant section, you're going to see over probably more than 100 choices. You're going to see bottles with vitamin C, you're going to see antioxidant written on it, you're going to see blueberries, you're going to see all these things. So, and then you see a blue bottle that says Protandim NRF2. It doesn't even say antioxidant. Would that be the last thing you would pick? That would literally be the last thing that I would pick because it's not familiar, right? People don't know what it is. We figured out that this product is so powerful, it needs a voice to share the story of what it does. Because there's no way that it can talk, there's no way that people can understand activation. This isn't supplementation. Supplementation is, I'm from Montana. A lot of us in Montana are low on vitamin D. So we need to take a vitamin D supplement to raise our levels. That's not what this is. This is take it to make it. So when you put these products in your body, it turns your body's ability back on to make what it needs to make to work like it's designed to work. It's so fascinating, right? That's all it's doing is flipping back on all the light switches in your body that have slowed down or been turned off because of the aging process. So what happened at that point was they realized they hired a business consultant. They needed somebody smarter than them to figure out how they can get this information out there. And he said, like, you guys have a product that's one patented. Protandem NRF2 has 7 US patents and 6 international patents on it right now. It's proven by a lab test. It's got research to back it. Like, the fastest way to get a product to market is by word of mouth. So in 2009, we launched as a publicly traded network marketing company. Now, who's excited about that? I am so excited about that. But I will tell you, 6 years ago, I was not excited about that. And I want to be honest with you guys because I didn't understand the industry. I had never done anything like this before. And honestly, after I watched that ABC Primetime Investigative Report, I was 100% in. But then when I found out it was in network marketing, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I felt like I had a really respectable career as a registered nurse. I didn't want to go out and sell products to friends and family. I didn't want to set up a booth at a trade show. I didn't want to lug around suitcases full of inventory because that's what I saw my friends doing. You guys, I was an exhausted nurse with trying to raise 4 kids and keep a marriage together. And when I look back at that, I was probably failing at all of those things in my life because I was exhausted. I didn't have time to go sell products to friends and family, you guys, but that's not what this is about. This is so much bigger than that. Network marketing is the second highest paid profession in the entire world behind professional athletes. Forbes magazine last year said that network marketing is anticipated to be the #1 paid industry in the next 2 to 5 years because guess what? Families are struggling financially. Do you guys feel like families are struggling financially just as much as they're struggling with their health? Like, if you're struggling financially, are you going to spend money on your health? No, that's the first thing that goes. That's why it's another reason why it's so important for us to share the whole story. Because if I'm going to share a life-changing product with somebody that they can't even afford because they don't even have an extra $20 a month, then shame on me. If I'm just going to share an opportunity with somebody, but I don't talk about a life-changing product, then shame on me because I'm making decisions for people and it's not my decision to make. But you guys, this when I looked up network marketing, what I saw was like the definition of network marketing is really you cut the hundreds of thousands of dollars spent every single year on marketing and advertising. You cut that piece out and you pay people by word of mouth. So you're putting money in thousands of families' homes. Like that sounded incredible to me. Because if I said to Carol, "Oh my gosh, Carol, where did you get your glasses?" And she told me, "Oh, I actually got a really good deal at iMart Express." That's where I get all my glasses. So I'm just making that up. But does iMart Express pay her for telling me she got her glasses there? No, no, but they should. They should, because when we're referring people to them for business, then we should get rewarded for that too. Network marketing is incredible. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what education level you have. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. None of that matters. It matters if you have a servant heart, if you have dreams and goals, and if you're willing to go help other people. The amount of money that you make in this company is a direct reflection on the amount of people you've been able to bless and impact. I promise you, it truly is. Like, and we are so lucky. I wake up every single day with purpose. I wake up and ask myself the same question every single day. I wake up and say, who do I get to bless today? Because this is so important that we share this information. And the reason you haven't heard about LifeVantage is because nobody knows about LifeVantage yet. LifeVantage is a global company. We just launched Iceland in September, but we have less than 100,000 voices globally for LifeVantage right now. We have less than 54,000 consultants in the United States. When people ask me, like, well, is it open in my area? I'm like, well, what's the population of your area? I mean, most people live, not everybody, there's people that don't, but most of the people I talk to live in a place that has more than 54,000 people, at least in the surrounding area. And I'm like, that means it's open everywhere. And who has oxidative stress? Every living, breathing person, every living, breathing mammal on this planet has oxidative stress. And so when I saw the opportunity of it, because you guys, I was so exhausted. There was no light at the end of the tunnel for my husband and I. He's a business owner. He owns his own flooring company. I was a registered nurse. We were both trading our time for money. We were both working our guts out because we were born into that broken system of go to school, get an education, pay off your student loans, work your guts out the rest of your life trading your time for money. But if you don't go to work, you don't get paid, hoping that you will retire. But if you look at the statistics in the United States right now, 96% of Americans can't retire at the age of 65. So why are we teaching people that? If it doesn't work, why are we teaching people that? Why don't we teach them a system that they can do in the nooks and crannies of their life where they can create another stream of income that can become a retirement asset for them so they don't, it breaks my heart when I see people that are working that are in their 70s or their 80s or like, and I have a conversation with every single one of them. I say, I just have a question for you. Are you working because you want to, or are you working because you have to? 95% of those conversations are because they can't afford their prescription medication or they can't afford to put food on their table. So they're working because they have to. And that is heartbreaking. Nobody should be working in their 70s or 80s. That's what I believe. I don't consider this work though, because we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of shenanigans. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of compassion. Like we have a lot of fun doing what we're doing, and it's not work. So the industry, you guys, we're a publicly traded company. And I don't know if you know this, but there's 8,000 network marketing companies in the United States, about 8,000, give or take. There's only 6 of them that are publicly traded. That's really important for us to know, because when you think about that, publicly traded means that you have integrity and you have transparency. We are scrutinized every single day. We can't be off by one number on our income disclosure, or we could get our company shut down. We have to be very compliant with everything with LifeVantage, including the products, the testimonials, and the stories that we tell people because we are publicly traded. But I love that about it because I love the integrity and the transparency that that brings being publicly traded. We've also evolved in our product line. Right now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's 28 products, soon to be 30 with the P84. We cover full body health. We have something here for everyone. Guess what? Most of our products are 30-day consumables. And what I've seen is a lot of people that start taking these products don't ever want to stop taking them because they feel so good. That's how you create a leveraged income. You have to have a 30-day consumable. You take a pill, you drink a drink, you feel better, you continue to reorder month after month after month. The conversations that I had one time 6 years ago, I still get paid on every single month. I didn't even know I could make a leveraged income. Did you guys know? Like, I thought I had to be a singer-songwriter or an artist. Well, I am not a singer. I could try if you want me to, but you'd probably all get off the Zoom call right now. And I'm not an artist. So how am I going to make a leveraged income doing that? I didn't realize that you didn't have to be a singer-songwriter or an artist. And I don't think most people do because they're so programmed in trading their time for money and working 9 to 5 that they don't know that there's any other way that they can get out of that system. But back to the products, we have 3 protandems that focus on 3 different theories to how our bodies are aging. Incredible, incredible products. We have heart health, we have gut health, we have immune health, we have eye health, we have brain health. Who loves Axio? If you love it too much, like I do, you can join my group Axio Anonymous because I drink a little too much of it sometimes. But it's incredible. I love it. The Axio is our brain health, and it really helps reconnect those brain neurons, and it's focus, clarity, concentration, memory, energy, and it gives you that even energy throughout the day instead of like this, the ups and downs that people get. Do you guys know people that drink several energy drinks during the day, several floofy coffees during the day, or whatever people drink? Like, all I drink is water and Axio, and I feel amazing. I can tell you that. We have skincare and hair care that reduce the oxidative stress in your skin and your hair and slow down that aging process. We have pet products that reduce the oxidative stress in our pets, which that's one of my favorite lines. I don't know about you guys, but the pet products are amazing because pets don't have a placebo effect. So if you have an older dog with arthritis and they're having a really hard time standing up or going up and down stairs, and now you're reducing their oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days, and then 5, 6, 7 weeks later, they're running around and they're feeling better and they're begging for their pet tandem. Isn't that incredible to watch that happen when they don't have that placebo effect? Because people always ask that question, well, is it just a placebo effect? No, it's not just a placebo effect. We have liquid collagen, which I call liquid gold. I will never stop taking the liquid collagen. And that's the first product. I've been in this company for 6 years. The first product I got my husband to try was liquid collagen 3 years in. Does anybody else have a hard time getting their husband to take these products? Yeah, so he will never stop taking it now. Isn't that funny? Like he ran out. Do you guys remember? We some of us ran out for a couple of weeks. So he ran out and that's when he noticed how much it was helping. And he does hard labor manual work for a living. And he's like, nope, not going without that ever again. You guys, collagen is so important. It's one of the most abundant proteins in our body. It's really kind of the glue that holds our body together. And it's so important. A lot of people don't realize that between the ages of 27 to 30, we start slowing down on our production of collagen. As women, once we go through menopause, it almost completely shuts off. Like it doesn't shut off completely, but we're not producing enough collagen. So this collagen is an activator. Remember, our products are activators. So when you drink this collagen, it doesn't only replenish and maintain your existing collagen, it actually activates new production of collagen, which is so fascinating to me. So it's incredible. We also have a product called Mind Body, which I believe it's right up there with collagen, Protandim, NRF2, and Axio. It's an incredible product. People have to give it time, but what that product does, have you heard of any of the injections that people are taking for weight loss or diabetes? Like, there's a lot of them out there, right? There's a lot of different supplements people are taking, and there's a lot of side effects that come along with some of those injections. There's a lot of studies being released on that right now, and I would encourage you to look at it. And I'm not wanting to put anybody down if you're on an injection, because I also understand what it's like to be overweight and feel hopeless that nothing is going to work, and just to be grasping at straws and want to try anything because you've already tried everything. So I understand. But you guys, we have a product now called Mind Body that naturally activates your own GLP-1 in your body. So you don't need to inject it anymore. They did a human study on it that showed after 20 weeks, it naturally increased their GLP-1 production by over 200%. Can you imagine how many people we can help? The last statistic I heard was that 82% of Americans were overweight, trying to lose weight or maintain weight. Like, can you imagine how many people we can help with that information? We also we just acquired another company. Who's excited about that? Who's excited about Love Biome? Like, I am so excited about that. And I don't know if any of you on this call have tried the product, but I've been on it for 6 days. And I will tell you, this is not what I expected from this product, but the amount of energy, clarity that I have is incredible. And I kind of expected that. The amount just feeling lighter, like my body feels so light, because what this product is doing, P84, just so you guys know, it's a gut activator. We had a good pre and probiotic, but we didn't have a system to activate the gut. So what this product is doing is actually activating the gut. So it's healing your microbiome. It's activating peptides. It's activating enzymes, things that your gut needs to function like it's supposed to function, right? The thing that I noticed, that I've dealt with chronic anxiety my entire life. And if you know anybody like this, it can be debilitating at times, debilitating. And it's almost like this fiery ball in my gut that I could never get rid of, that would get worse and I would have no control over it. And I've done a lot of work on my gut health, you guys, a lot. And 6 days in, it's gone. And I don't know if it's going to stay that way, but it is 100% gone. That weird feeling that I've had in my gut for years and years and years and years and years, that anxiety, it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, most disease process stems from an unhealthy gut. Your gut is your second brain. Most of your immune system lives in your gut. So if your gut is unhealthy at all, which the food quality in the United States is not good, if your gut is unhealthy at all, it's going to affect every aspect of your body. So I am hoping that that can help a lot of people. So you guys, do you think that these products are amazing? These products are amazing. I feel like these products can sell themselves because people, when they start learning about activation, it gives people hope back because too many people have lost hope that anything is going to help them. But just being able to share the whole story, because have you met the community? Like, have you guys all met you? Like, I, when I got involved in this, I tell people sign up for LifeVantage for the opportunity, but they will never leave because of the community. Once they've met this community of like-minded, servant-hearted people, they will never leave because when you can put yourself in an environment of people that are positive, that are uplifting, that are pouring into you, that are heart-centered, that's not what's going on in society. In society, there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of survival, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of things going on in society, but that's not what happens here. This is an amazing community, and I would encourage you, if you've never been to an event, it is so important to go to an event to meet these people because I am so grateful for every single person that I've ever met or been able to talk to with LifeVantage because they've added value to me in so many different ways. So, are you guys like sign me up? Because that's how I was. I was like, sign me up right now. So going back to that linear versus leveraged income, I just want to share one more piece that I missed on that is when you're building this, it's not a get rich quick. If you decide to do this as a consultant, this is a 2 to 5 year plan, is what our income disclosure shows, is that on average, it's going to take 2 to 5 years of working in the nooks and crannies of your life, 5 to 10 hours a week, consistently. I promise you that that's the key. Most people cannot stay consistent because life starts lifing and they stop doing the work. But if you can stay consistent 5 to 10 hours a week for 2 to 5 years, you can hit the executive ranks of the company, making anywhere from $10,000 to $14,000 a month. Like, what are you going to do? People are like, well, I don't need to make money. I don't want to make money off other people. It's like, you know what? If you really want to make a global impact, you need like-minded people, you need time, and you need resources. You are never going to make a huge global impact without the resources needed. It's so important. You give money to good people and they're going to do really good things with it. It just elevates the type of person that you are. Whatever you make here is willable for 6 generations. This is a legacy income. And 6 years ago, when my husband and I were looking at our retirement and what that looked like to be able to leave to our kids, I was so sick. Like, we would be leaving medical debt at that point to my kids because we were spending, my medication for my Crohn's disease was $3,400 a month. Like, we would not be leaving my kids anything. There would be no legacy there. Now I can say, because of a decision that I made 6 years ago, it's not only going to impact my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, my great great grandkids, right? Isn't that cool to be able to say that? And all of you are going to be able to say that too because you said yes. How do you get involved in LifeVantage? There's a couple of different ways. So get in where you fit in, whatever you feel like fits for you. One, you can become a customer. You can order the customer products 2 different ways. You can be a retail customer, which is a one-time order with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I don't recommend that. If I don't ever sign anybody up as a one-time order, I just tell them it's not even worth it to you. As a registered nurse, you need to set proper expectations. It did not take you 30 days to get your body in the shape that it's in right now, and it's not going to take you 30 days to get out of it. So please set proper expectations. I recommend a month per decade people have been alive. So if they're in their 50s, they need to take these products for 5 to 6 months to really see what's going to heal in your body, right? At least 90 to 120 days. That's my minimum. So the second option as a customer is a subscription customer, which is a 10% discount from the retail order, and you get put into a rewards program, which is so cool to be able to earn rewards back on your products. So that's a great opportunity too. I don't have a lot of customers because what I will tell you is most of them sign up as a subscription customer and within a month they upgrade to a consultant. Because when they start feeling good and their friends and family see how amazing they feel, and start asking them about it, why wouldn't they share that with them? Like, how could you not share that with them? It becomes part of who you are, and it's our moral obligation to share it with people if we're feeling good and we know something that can help them too. So the third opportunity is a consultant. And the consultant is, it doesn't mean that you have to build a business. Honestly, like I do have some people that sign up as a consultant for the 20% discount. They're just afraid to talk to people, and that's okay. I'm going to meet people where they're at and I'm going to love on people. But it gives you the opportunity to build a business. So you pick a pack. I think there's, I don't know, there's 10 or 11 packs right now. They keep changing it, so I can't keep up. But there's several different pack options. I know the lowest pack option is 225 and the highest pack option is 999, and there's everything in between. So you get in where you fit in. If you're serious and you're truly wanting to build a business, and you can, if you can't, it's okay. But if you can get in at the 999, I promise you, you will thank me later. The reason I'm telling you that is because one, you're going to get the best value for the amount of money that you spend. You're going to get a $1,500 value of products in that 999 pack. Plus, you're going to get 2 tickets for the next upcoming event. You're going to get a back office, all of these tools. It's amazing. And if you're going to build this as a business, don't you want to be a product of the products? Don't you want to taste, touch, feel, experience what all of the products are like? And almost all the products come in that 999 pack. Again, if you can't, that's okay. Get in where you fit in. It doesn't matter. You have the same compensation plan on any of those packs. Speaking of the compensation plan, did you guys know that we had one of the best compensation plans in the entire industry of network marketing? And you can see that because we're publicly traded. Like, it's huge, you guys. We pay out 9 different ways and we value people. You can build this business however you want. They got rid of all of the icky stuff like pay to play. I don't know if you've heard of pay to play, but there's a lot of companies where you have to order a certain amount of product every month just to keep your business open. And usually it's $200 to $300. LifeVantage does not do that. You don't have any expectations. Of course, you're going to order products every month because you're going to be a product of the products and you're going to feel amazing. And how can you talk about the products if you're not on a subscription? So, of course, you are. But if you had a hard month, you're not going to get your business center taken away because you weren't able to place an order. You have to place one order a year not to lose your consultant. You have a $49 fee once a year on your anniversary to keep your business center going. Like, it is phenomenal, you guys. When I thought about that, I was like, okay, my husband owns a conventional business. So just think about this for a second. He owns a conventional business, he owns a flooring business, huge overhead, employees, shipping and receiving, building space, marketing and advertising, all of these things that are a huge headache of being a business owner. You could jump into LifeVantage for a low cost, and plus the fact that it's going to cost you in the United States right now to open a conventional business. They say the cheapest you could do that is about $80,000, and that's a kiosk in a mall. So now you have the ability to open your own business and be the CEO of your own company for $225 to $999. You don't do shipping and receiving, you don't do marketing and advertising, you don't do research and development, you don't have employees, you have over 300 people working at the corporate office doing all of your back office stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds like the most phenomenal form of business you could think of. They give you a 1099 at the end of the year. I'm like, all I have to do is share information and love on people. I can do that. You can, everybody can do that. So I jumped in and it took me 5 years, you guys. It took me 5 years of working in the nooks and crannies of my life to get to the executive ranks. And they told me it would take 2 to 5 years. I wasn't sure if 6 years ago when I started LifeVantage, I wasn't sure that that was true, but I thought I can give this 5 years. If they tell me I can do it in 5 years and I follow a system and follow that system for 5 years and see where I'm at. And look where I'm at. It worked. It happened. You just have to follow the system. And the system that I follow is share this at least 15 or more times a month, right? Always do what you say you're going to do. Attend all of the events, promote. Like, so those are the things that you need to do to build your business. Be a person of your word is probably one of the most important things, but I promise you, you got to be a person of your word to yourself because people can show up for other people, but they have a hard time being a person of their word. Oh, I'm going to invite 10 people today, and then it's 9 o'clock at night and you're tired and you're like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. People constantly let themselves down, but maybe won't let somebody else down. But I just want all of you to know, thank you so much for being here. I want you to reach out to the person that invited you to this call. the guests on the call, make sure they send you the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. Make sure that you get your questions answered. I'm available if you want to reach out to me if you have any questions for me. I would love to help answer any of those questions. And thank you for spending some time with me tonight and for inviting me on this call. I really appreciate it, and I love all of you.
Wow, thank you so much, Candy. That was phenomenal. As always, I knew it would be. I'm going to stop the recording, and then if we have time for a few questions, we will take those.